on September 24th at 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, God gifted us with Marvel Zombies. But the question is, was it worth it? Was it good? Did it suck? Am I now a Batman fan? You gotta find out. You gotta listen in. I'm Manny.
I'm Frank.
I'm Joseph.
And today, we have the pleasure, the honor, the privilege of bringing you our Marvel Zombies review. Overall, this show, I feel, did its job, and it did it well. I got a mix of everything. Although this is only 4 episodes, and all those episodes are, with ads, probably like 40 minutes, because I had ads. So, even though I'm super happy with how they did this, I will say this, I gotta call myself out when I get something wrong. I guaranteed that it was gonna be better than X-Men 97. This was not better than X-Men 97.
Not even close.
But it was really, really good, and I really enjoyed it. And this is not my bias talking. I'm taking my bias, pushing it to the side. I like this show. I like what it did. I like the story. I like how it possibly left us with a second season. So, I'm all in. I'm on the zombie train. Shout out Ozzy Osbourne. But this train ain't crazy.
Well, as always, I have the biggest soft spot for animation. And this show set out to do 2 things. Give us zombies and gore, and like a bit of a dark tone in the MCU. And the second was merely to give us a taste to make us want more. Because clearly, I want more. I wish it was longer. But, it was straight to the point. It didn't necessarily slow itself down. There was enough story to push itself forward. And it's very rewatchable. And above all else, it was definitely beautifully animated. The people that worked on it obviously cared about it. And as a fan, it makes me care about it even more. So yeah, highly recommended.
So for me, I thought it was really good. Like, I had no expectations going into this at all. The only thing I know about it is that Manny loves it. The animation was good. I felt like it was lackluster in very specific parts, so it wasn't too bad in the parts that it didn't hit, but I'd say like 8 times out of 10, the animation was good. I like that in certain parts they didn't stick to one specific style of animation, which was cool. The story was great, honestly. You don't know who's going to live or not. That's it. That's one of the things I like about Attack on Titan. You have no idea who's going to keep going.
From the first episode.
I think that's the best thing about this concept in general, is that there's no like, oh, this person has to keep going. This person is the one that's the protagonist of this story. It's more like there's this concept and no one's safe. That's it. That's the vibe I got from this. And the way they introduced certain people in the show was way different than the MCU has ever done before. And I think, and I agree with Joseph, that the fact that this was a darker tone gave the MCU a very critical piece that it was missing. And this filled it very well. Spoiler time.
So I can sound the alarms. Finally.
You do it.
Finally.
I'll give you the honors. That's a new one. That's a new one. That's crazy.
Spoiler alert. You ain't ready. And if you haven't seen it, stop now. Because the spoilers will be had in 3, 2, 1. I'm just not going to lie. I did not expect Kate Bishop to get zapped to crap in 2 seconds. Holy smokes. Let's talk about, like you said, first episode. First episode, everything that needed to happen in that first episode happened so perfectly. But I'll be honest with you. This first episode was not my favorite. It continuously got better. And the fact that the only thing I was mad about the first episode, Captain Marvel already being a zombie, wish I would have seen that. Those are some things in Marvel Zombies that I wish you could show, but obviously, Hawkeye. The fact that this is all centered around Kamala Khan, was not expecting that she is basically the main character of this.
But it makes sense.
But it makes total sense.
Her powers makes the most sense.
I love that the first episode we're introduced to basically main character 1 and main character 2, because this is about Kamala Khan and Moon Knight Blade. Blade Knight.
Fire, by the way. Fire concept. I didn't even know that existed. That was dope.
It was needed.
Yes. No, it was needed. And you know,
Didn't get the movie, might as well get him in animation, right?
that first initial fight where obviously it seems like it's Captain Marvel. Was that Icarus or was I tripping?
It was Icarus.
Okay, cool. So Captain Marvel and Icarus in the sky fighting while there are
That was
zombies
fire.
on the ground. There was just so much stuff happening. It was such a great introduction to where this was gonna go, and the fact that it ends with just Moon Knight picking Blade Knight, grabbing her on the bike, and keep going. Mwah.
What did he
I
call
think
it? He called it like the Valley of the Two Gods or something, but they're
Yeah,
just
but-
zombie Captain Marvel versus Icarus. And I'm just like, yeah, it really sets, what's the best part about this? Within that first episode, you really get the sense of world building without necessarily the full explanation, where you
Mhm.
literally have these two deity-like beings squaring it up in the heavens, and just you see the repercussions of what unfolded because of the first infected person.
And it makes you realize like these like the most powerful are the least safe, because the most powerful are the ones that are willing to rush in full might, but that's the worst thing you could do in this type of scenario, right? The more technical, from afar, very scrappy characters are the ones that would survive more, right? Which is why Kate Bishop, Kamala Khan, and Riri are the ones that we see in the beginning, and honestly could not have picked any better people, in my opinion, to start it off with. Because they give you that sense of like, yeah, you got a zombie apocalypse. They're already used to it, and it gives you that kind of like humanity aspect of it. And just instead of like some superpowered beings just hashing it out against each other, they had a good mix of both, of like humanity and superpowers, right? Which I think Marvel Zombies allows it to bring it together, right? The zombie apocalypse allows the smaller heroes to like shine.
Yeah.
And I disagree with Manny. I think this is probably the second best episode of the whole show. It's easily the last one goes first, then this one, then the third one, then the second one. I thought the second one was easily the
So
worst.
I disagree. I disagree with that.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm of the mindset that it just got better as it went. So I
Disagree.
literally have it 4, 3, 2, 1. Because this first episode, obviously, we'll continue on. They go meet up. In the Shield base, and they find Red Guardian. I forgot the mom's name. I
Me too.
forgot her
and
name.
the widows, and
Yeah,
Elena.
the
Yelena.
daughters.
And then Elena.
Elena,
Okay,
there we go.
Okay,
Yeah, that's her name.
Elena. So you have Elena and the daughters, her group, and then you have Yelena. Perfect people to find. Like
Perfect follow-up. Yes.
perfect follow-up to where they just ended to where they're going. And then, not gonna lie, Red Guardian is my MVP of this.
100%.
Because David Harbour, man, this man was animated, but I felt every single thing that man said and did.
It felt like I was watching him live, bro.
I swear, it was perfect. And I love the fact that they get to the base, they're figuring out this whole thing, and as soon as they figure it out, boom, Okoye and the group show up.
I
And
forgot
it's
her name. Thank
raps.
God he said it. I forgot her name. I ain't gonna lie,
Okoye-
the aura that Okoye had this whole show, defeated, bro. Every single time she pulled up, doom, doom, and every time she pulled, just standing there, I'm like, nah, she's too cold, bro.
She's too cold.
She's too
And
cold,
then on top
bro.
of that, I'm not gonna lie, the first actual fight that we get, like real fight, is obviously, you see it in the trailer, it's Blade versus Ghost.
Oh, yep, fire.
I watched it in the trailer. I don't know why I liked it better in the show. Like, I don't know why.
No, because
It was the
you know the
same
context.
thing.
No,
It
because
was
you know
the
the
same
context.
thing.
That's
Uh,
why.
You saw how she, aside from like Blade Knight, dispatching her. Because that's what you
Yeah.
see in the trailer. You
Definitely
see the
dispatched
sheer
her.
onslaught
Talk
of
about a
zombie
fatality.
ghosts versus all the widows.
Bro,
Yeah.
walked in and
That was-
cooked.
That was just unfair, bro.
Bro, literally showed why Ghost is one of the most powerful people when it comes to
Mm.
street level characters.
It's just busted. They can't do anything. Like, what are they gonna do? She
Bro,
can
but
phase
that-
through everything.
Everyone got task mastered. That's what happened.
Worse. I think it was worse. But yeah,
No,
pretty good. And then Elena sacrificed herself so that they can go on and like continue to try to get the plan. Very good. Like the way they go through every episode, where like they kind of like building up this dream, getting more people to buy into the dream, and then like getting crushed but still trying to keep going. Like perfect zombie apocalypse concept. Like nothing
Sure.
better. This is
Then-
literally perfect.
Once they introduced Shang-Chi and Katie, especially like Shang with like his martial arts and then his dad,
Shang.
saving him. Shang, I don't give a
Whoa.
That's crazy.
either which way. Once his dad sacrificed himself to give him the rings and he
Which was
shared
crazy.
the rings with Katie. Is that her name, right? Katie?
Yeah.
Yeah, Katie.
Cool. Bro, my favorite part was him sharing the rings and then if I had like an unspoken MVP, was 100% Death Dealer. Him in the like Wasteland Mad Max scene, and he's just looking at the scrolls, and he's always like, okay, bloop,
Nah,
kill.
his fight scenes were crazy. His fight scenes were crazy.
No,
Yeah, no,
I
it was
like
it was a
that.
good balance of characters.
and obviously that episode brings out one of the most goated my zombie MVP of this whole show, Namor. Namor, bro, this man was on some smoke.
Namor.
Namor,
Oh, you make my
Namor,
face shrink.
it's your preference. It's your preference. But literally, you find out Zemo has a base, blah, blah, blah. Who cares about Zemo? He got dipped up.
It's not about the base. He just conquered the raft.
Yeah,
That's
he
what his
conquered
base
the
was.
raft so that way he could,
Which
He
is so
could
Baron
feed Namor.
Zemo-esque. So Baron Zemo-esque.
and it's so U.S.
It just made
agent-esque
sense.
that this man was a follower. And he
Yep.
got dipped up. That's what
Yeah,
you
bro,
get.
I ain't gonna lie. When Namor pulled up, I was like, yeah, they're cooked. I was like, the whole time, I'm just like, how are they gonna beat this guy? Like, Namor is just so cracked.
You
And the
cannot
movie-
tell me. You cannot tell me the fist and then the
Oh,
hold.
yeah, that was. I ain't gonna lie, Kamala, respect,
MVP
bro. Respect, bro.
Number 2 on MVP list.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, her powers are just, it just really doubled down on why her powers are crazy.
Yeah.
In the MCU.
It's like there's something about characters and like stories or whatever, and the amount of difference between in Wakanda Forever, Namor sent his minions first, and then he showed up. No, this zombie fish of a thing said, "I'm going first." It's the on-site attitude that I respect way too much. And then she hugged this blonde chick, and she evaporated.
And bro, I ain't gonna lie, the way he was dipping up all of Shang-Chi's friends, crazy. That man was just going, dead, slap,
No,
dead.
the
I was
slice
like,
in half. The slice
Bro.
in half.
bro, he
Bro.
was just swiping his hand and just obliterating them. I was like, bro, this is insane. And then he cuts U.S. agent in half. I was like, bro.
And he's still
Slow-mo.
crawling on the floor.
In
That man
slow-mo.
look like Captain America, bro. Like, for real. Wait, I just realized.
That's funny.
You got the joke now?
Yeah, I didn't feed that. That's crazy. That's funny.
But you move forward, right? Obviously, this episode ends with Yelena sacrificing herself. So now,
Just like her mom.
Red
bro.
Guardian
Nah,
lost too,
R.I.P.
He's
Bro,
lost
Red
too.
Guardian cooked, bro. That
right?
was
And
tough.
then you move forward to the third episode when they finally get to New Asgard, and these brothers find out all the
Craziest
history
shit,
about
man.
everything, and who
Mhm.
appears? Scarlet Witch, and you already know everybody's cooked.
Wait, that's when they introduced the whole thing with Spider-Man and Black Panther, right?
Yes, so
Yeah.
that,
Bro,
that's also.
by the way, goated backstory with that, because
oh
to
no,
introduce
100%.
Thanos as a backstory,
Yes.
that was tough.
And
then
on
Wakanda Forever-
top of that, hold up. Shout out to Marvel Animation. You did
Bro.
T'Challa, Chadwick Boseman proud. Obviously, he did not talk, which was
Nope.
I think was the best part.
Yes.
And he had a moment that literally shapes the foundation of the story.
And they have Peter, like, perfect person to narrate that part, by the way, because it's Peter. Like, he's funny, but he's also, like, serious, right? And for
He's
him
heartfelt.
to have him, to have him explain what T'Challa's doing was the perfect way to get around the fact of voicing him, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
perfect.
And I loved what they did with that. And you move forward out of that, and it's all about Elizabeth Olsen. She cooks everybody basically.
They finessed everyone. Nah, that got me, bro. When she pulled up, I was like, huh? I was like, no
I
way.
thought-
She's using reality warping, bro. There's no
I
way.
thought Joseph called it. I thought it was dimensional. I thought we were multiversing.
That's
was
what I'm
like,
saying. I
no.
was like, was Joseph right? But I was like, no, she must be using reality. But I wasn't expecting her to have everybody fake zombie parts. I was like, that's crazy. This chick is a menace.
And then you
Yo.
find out about
Nah,
what
Scarlet
happened
Witch?
with you find out about what happened
Crazy.
with everything and how the Hulk maintained and became the
Crazy
Infinity
too, by the
Hulk.
way. Crazy too, by the way. I didn't even know that was a thing.
And you
Even
end
though
off
he
with
could do that.
obviously the Red Guardian. He accidentally ate the food.
It's
and
a very Red Guardian way to
and
end
then
up.
they go to defend Infinity Hulk, bro. And that's the last episode. And I'll be honest with you,
Crazy.
cold, cold.
This man said, whole army, obliterate whole army. I was like, all right, bet, Goku. Like, what is this? I was expecting him to go like this at some point, bro. Like, Infinity?
When it comes down to like how in the MCU in general has developed Wanda Maximoff. Especially, you get a hint of it in the Multiverse of Madness, where she like stands on her business. She takes no ish from any single person. And as a zombie, it's even worse. Where she's like, okay, do that, do that, do that, and then boom, checkmate. Like,
But I'm not gonna lie, he has to be one of the biggest menaces of a villain I've seen in a long time. Like,
who
her
stays
as a zombie
consistent?
is scary. Scary.
Not even to mention, I forgot this part. Not even to mention that the fact that all they're doing this just to get the Nova Core, and the Nova Core is outside.
Biggest finesse. I was like, there's no way they're gonna help. Like, I thought they were already infected or something, but it was even worse.
They said, we're not helping you. Go back. Go
Get out of here.
away.
We're gonna
It
cook
doesn't
you. You're gonna
even
leave in 5 seconds.
matter. Nova Corps ain't containing anything. Because first off,
No.
Captain
Not after
Marvel.
she got what she got.
Captain Marvel's there. You're stuck with that. And now you got Zombie Thor. They got that. And
Bro.
no one is holding back the Scarlet Witch.
Oh, we didn't even
Nobody.
mention the fact that, bro, I think back when they were fighting, doing the backstory of T'Challa and Spider-Man versus Thanos, bro, like, not even to mention that has to be the most lore accurate Infinity Stone Thanos I've ever seen in my life, like in animation. Like, this man just said, Power Stone, Power Stone, Power Stone, obliteration, rocket, you're just a bag of bones. I was like, brother, that's crazy. Groot come back from that one. I was like, this man had Thor like this. Sitting on a throne of lies, bro, because he couldn't do it. He shouldn't. He didn't aim for the head, and it was worse.
That's a fact. That is a fact.
That was crazy.
No, and the way this ends with like Joseph said, with
Kamala
Wanda
finally
winning.
giving in.
Wanda
Kamala
winning.
finally giving in, and I'm like, this whole time, I'm just like, the whole time I'm thinking, the worst part that she's doing is trying to convince this girl, like, why does she just like kill her? And now you see why at the end, but it's just like the fact that she finally gave in and she broke down was the best part of the whole show.
And then on top of that,
Easily.
it left it in a cliffhanger. And I'll be honest with you, I honestly wholeheartedly believe that depending on how this does, which I think it's doing really well right now, there is a season 2.
I really hope there
was,
is. If there isn't, it would suck. I ain't gonna lie. It would bring it down for me.
The ending gave me two things, because aside from people talking about Elizabeth Olsen's performance and like the overall attitude she brought to Wanda Maximoff / the Scarlet Witch, and people like commenting on that, when they asked her about it, she's like, honestly, I don't even remember what I said because those lines were recorded years ago. So the content material's already there for them to work with. And the way that it ended almost emulated how Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania ended, where it's like, hey, everything's okay. But is it though? And obviously, Kamala sees the hints of like what happened. So sure, the Scarlet Witch probably has her in some trance using her powers to probably contain the Infinity Siphon or whatever, or have it under her control. Who knows? Either which way, I want more.
All in all, I think it's an 8 out of 10. It's not better than X-Men 97, but to be fair, it did a lot more in 4 episodes than X-Men 97 did, because X-Men 97 but that's just based off what it's about, right? That's why I'm not really comparing that. But I gotta give it the fact that it's only 4 episodes. It has potential to be just as good as X-Men 97. They just gotta flesh it out more.
My rating, I have 2. My bias rating, it's a 9.5 out of 10. My realistic rating, I go an 8.5 out of 10. Because I think that they did great with how they took this story. They gave me surprises. They shocked the hell out of me with the fact
Out of you?
Yes, they shocked me because I thought this story wasn't going to keep up. But it did wonders. 8.5 realistically, 9.5 biasly.
Honestly, I give it a 10 out of 10 in the sense there's no reason for me trying to predict what's going to happen. I don't care. Just give me whatever, and whatever comes out is gonna be satisfying enough to me. The most outlandish stuff that you will never see in the actual live-action movies gets presented here. It gives an opportunity for a good amount of all these comic book stories to be presented in a motion picture type fashion. You could literally just pull out any stories that weren't included in the actual live action movies, and you could redo them in animation. Whether it's Marvel Zombies or something else, don't matter. This is Marvel going gung-ho in their animation literally opens a ginormous door that I just simply hope stays open.
Agreed. So, what did you guys think about Marvel Zombies? Are we right and justified in what we're saying? Did you think it sucked? And if you do, I will hunt you down and I will find you. This has been The Triple Take. I'm Manny.
I'm Frank.
I'm dead. I'm Joseph.
Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Make sure you follow us on Discord, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram. And Frank, what do we always tell the people?
Peace.